Hello. Sorry, I know I just disappeared there and came back. I'm just double checking. I'm just getting my phone off charge just to double check I'm in the right place. So, whilst Facebook is ping-ponging going, Laura Linklater is live in the group. That's actually what it's doing on my phone, which is so cool. Yeah, hello from me. Doesn't seem to have a picture though. Oh, hello. Sorry, I know I just disappeared there. I came back. I'm just that's a little bit better. So I'm going to stop that now. Oh, well, at least I know I'm in the right place. Circuit breaker pregnancy night, and I know I'm doing the right thing. So woohoo! Hi, how's your day been or started? Depends on where you are in the world, doesn't it? It has been it's been a day for us here in Ho Chi Minh City. We've done quite a lot. Really, really hot. I know some people kind of want to slap me a bit for that, but you know, some days where it's just too hot though. And we've been climbing. Went to a homeschool meetup. Going to charge my laptop. Oh yes, my laptop broke last night. Completely stopped working, and had the blue screen of death. Massive panic about that. And then it turns out that being in Vietnam, you think, hopefully people are joining whilst I'm waffling. You think that you know, we're so close to China, and actually so much electronics is made in Vietnam, but a normal laptop is like twice as much here than it is in the UK, and we're going back to the UK in like 2 months. So anyway, sent it off to be worked on by a specialist, you know, an engineering company, and they messaged me saying it was fine. You know, those times, has anybody else ever had this where, you know, when you go to like hospital or you go to the doctors? I've taken third born a few times now to A&E or the emergency room, like, oh my goodness, this has happened. And we've got, I mean, there was one time I took him to the emergency room here in Vietnam thinking, oh my goodness, it's awful. And he had actually burned his hand. By the time we got there, the doctor asked him, he's 3 by the way, the doctor asked him if he could say in his own words what happened, and my son told him by medium of interpretive robot dance, and he was fine. I mean, his hand hurt and he needed some Tylenol, but I was like, oh seriously. So basically that's what happened. My laptop became my 4th child and mortified me. So that's my story. Yeah, anyway, my laptop's fine, hence me being on it. So I'm going to share my screen because I have a presentation for you, because this is quite exciting. This is actually really exciting for me. So the reason why we're here is because Polyvagal Parenting, which is my monthly subscription group, is opening today. So we start on Sunday afternoon. I'm going to tell you more about it at the end, so don't worry. And Polyvagal Theory is all about calming your nervous system, healing your nervous system, so that we don't raise. Yes, you can have ice lollies. Yes, after. Off you go. Thank you. Ice lollies. Yes, mummy's on Zoom. That means you get ice lollies. The answer is yes, Beth. So, and the reason we're on is yeah, so I've been speaking to people and asking questions, you know, what kind of support do you need? What kind of support do you need? What kind of support do you want? And there was a whole host of people who said, look, we really want, actually I'll keep my phone out because then I can actually see if people are commenting. There was a whole load of people who were saying, look, I really want to work with you and I just can't right now. I don't have, you know, we have so much stuff going on in the world, and oh, I see somebody watching. Hello, unless it's me, might be me. Say hello if it's you and it's not me watching myself. And I can actually see, I've got my phone set up. Yeah, people saying, you know, I want to work with you and I'm not ready to do one-to-one, or I don't, you know, like I don't feel emotionally ready, which is fine. It's totally fine. You know, when we're all there at different points. And also people, you know, said, like, I literally just don't have the finances right now, but I want to do something. I want to do something, and I want to offer that too. And in order to do that, I kind of need to explain what it's for. So Polyvagal parenting. Okay, this is weird. Here's where I want to be. Polyvagal parenting is it's all about toxic stress. It's all about healing our. I'm looking confused because I'm trying to present this. got it. I got it. So I've got this to show you, and we don't often pop in and do a big old PowerPoint. It's not PowerPoint. This is a different thing. It's on a company called Canva, who are great. So yeah, this is all about the effects of toxic childhood stress. And I say this, I often talk about tough childhood, a tough childhood that people have had, because some people have had, and some people in this group, some people I've spoken to, have had really, really awful, horrific upbringings. And there's other people who have had okay upbringings. And when we actually start talking and we go a bit deeper and say, oh yeah, I was really lucky, my mum and dad tried their best, or my mum and mom, or my auntie that raised me, they tried their best. But, and it's that but, and if there was something that is holding you back now, if there was something that made you feel stressed and miserable as a child, and it's affecting you right now in your family, you deserve to heal. You do not have to have a Marvel, an origin story. You do not have to have a Marvel origin story in order to deserve to heal. You deserve to heal because you are a human being, and you deserve to heal not just because it will support your children, because you deserve to heal. Full stop. Full stop. So here we are, the effects of toxic childhood stress on your parenting, because they are affecting you, whether you know it or not, whether you realize it or not, it is affecting you right now. And I get asked this, I don't know, 10, 20 times a week. Well, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Because people just want to know. And I hear it. I'm a parent of three. I have occasionally incredibly tough days, like we all do. And I have incredibly awesome days and many shades in between. What do I do to stop it fighting? What do I do to stop the kids scrapping? What do I do to get them to listen to me? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and we all have this question. We all have a reason why we seek support. And I do it too. And the thing is that, yes, there are skills that we can do. That's why I have raised them up, which is my 6-week one-to-one skills support. Isn't literally what to say, how to get them to put their shoes on. It doesn't stand on its own. It does work on its own, because we do a bit of healing around the edges too. Polyvagal theory is the thing that's going to help you. And I know that it's a new word for many people. And I know when I say it's relatively new, 1994, I like to think that 1994 was not that long ago, but it was. and the theory itself was in the making for like 20 years of research before. So yes, I want to tell you all about it, because then you can actually understand why. So quickly, if you don't know me, hello, I'm Laura Linklater. I'm a qualified teacher. I have years of classroom experience. Before I was a teacher in primary schools, I love that actually. Before I was a teacher, I worked with young people, children and young people at risk of radicalization. I'm a parent of 3 under 8 now, because my eldest is 7. I'm a cycle breaker parent. I'm the child of an alcoholic, and all of the stuff that went on there. And I'm the organizer of the Be a Cycle Breaker Summit, which is really cool, because that's quite new. That only happened recently. And here's what I do. I'm on a mission to help parents who've had a tough upbringing. And I say tough because there are so many shades. That encompasses everything. We're not limited to the adverse childhood experiences model, although I do talk about that. But it's only one thing. You don't have to have had a horrific upbringing, is the message. You deserve support. And I want to help them become the gentle, safe parents that they want to be. I hear that time and time again. I never wanted my child to feel like I did when. I never want my child to be afraid of me. I never wanted to be saying things like this, and they're just coming out. And this is why we get to go deeper, because this is what I do. I support them in their healing process. We're healing our inner child. We're healing who we are now. We are healing from the wounds of our upbringings, and you get to learn the skills that you need, which is why, Raise Them Up, that 6-week program exists. The literal skills that you need right now to help you heal your relationship with your kids and get them on board and get them doing stuff on their own. Get them being a bit more independent and having a bit more autonomy. It's really cool. It's amazing. When we do it, it's amazing. It happens. I see someone's popped up. Hello. Please do say hello, but also feel free just to observe. It's the healing and the skills. They go together. And then you can deal with the challenging behavior. There was a noisy person there. He's with his daddy. And then we can deal with the challenging behavior that our kids do throw up for it, because they have big feelings. I mean, mine's in there with, I can actually, you probably can't, but I can hear John co-regulating. I can hear him, and I can, in my mind, I know that he's down on one level. Hey Josh, how are you? Oh, you'll love this. You'll absolutely love this. This is the kind of stuff that we talk about. Yeah, so kids have big feelings. They have big feelings every day. They're actually supposed to have big feelings, and it can be really challenging. No, scratch that. It is really challenging. Of course it's challenging for us. That's what's called challenging behavior. And we can deal with it when we're empowered in a way that feels good for us and works. It works. So I just always bang on the healing and the skills. These two combined, you can do one and it's helpful, like therapy, and you can do another, which is helpful, like learning the skills. And when you put them together, there we have it. So I'm going to whiz through this because I appreciate that we all have loads of stuff to do. So part one, I'm going to just share with you a little bit about the effects of toxic stress, because polyvagal theory is all about stress. It's about your body's nervous system. It's about how your body responds to events. And now polyvagal theory is different to other things, so other ways of looking at it, because it looks through the lens of how the person and how the body of the person experienced an event. So to explain that a bit more clearly, it's not, it's not one of these episodic, like this happened and then this happened and then this happened, writing your biography of what happened, because then we take that top down and we think, oh, should I really have been upset? It actually, in polyvagal theory, it doesn't matter. And there's another reason why I really love it, is I'm one of 5 siblings and I'm the baby. We all experienced our upbringing in different ways because we have different bodies, we have different nervous systems, we have different birth order. We were all treated differently. So actually the same event happening was, shattered into 5 different perspectives. And none of us are wrong. None of us are right and none of us are wrong. Well, actually, we are all right, I suppose, because how you experience something is unique to you, to your body, to your mind, and to the way that people interact with you. So, and that's why, one of those things that I struggle with sometimes is when I, speak to people and they've experienced like, oh, was it really that bad? It doesn't actually matter, because if your body, when you were 5, experienced something in a tough way, or when you were 15 or when you were 10, truly the age doesn't really matter. It does more so for younger children. But, if you experience something and it was upsetting, it was upsetting. It's very validating. And then when we can validate ourselves using polyvagal theory and polyvagal therapy, then we can move through it. We don't need to gaslight ourselves. That part of society, hopefully, is moving through. So I'm going to talk you through 3 different types of stress, and then you will see why I talk about recalibrate. That's my 6-week one-to-one program, and polyvagal parenting, which is the lower time investment and lower financial investment membership that I'm going to be talking about, the subscription group. So you'll see why it works, but you need to have a background understanding of these models of stress. So one, this is broad. There's no units. It's not scientific. Stress up the side, up the y-axis, time along the x-axis. So imagine an event. This is positive stress. This is normal stress. This is stress that makes us, in some ways, stronger. Well, it does. It makes us more resilient. So, chugging along, low level, not very stressed out for time, and then something happens. So here we have event 1. You fall off your bike. Stressed out. You're really upset. You may exist in this stressful time. Imagine your kid crying because they've fallen off their bike and nobody's there and they hurt. And then, crucial, note this for the future, soothing occurs. And then your stress levels go down and you go back down to that lower level of calm. I'm going to talk to you about literally what's happening in terms of polyvagal theory in those stages, but remember this, Matt. So there's tolerable stress. Tolerable stress is, for want of a better, when crappy stuff happens, like really crappy stuff. I'm talking the death of a parent or a car accident or, something really, really significant. And I know I'm not the only person, I view COVID as the experience of the world as tolerable stress, because it's been crap and it's been challenging and it's been extreme, and it will end. It will end. I mean, statistically it will end. So here we are, different thing. We're at, low level, no stress, calm, rest and digest, la 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 la, have a kid, and then something really awful happens, like COVID or car accident, whatever. Stress levels go up, they shoot up, really, really high stress for usually a short period of time. Now, I'm not saying you get over the death of a parent or a car accident or COVID in a minute, but I'm talking about the really, really acute experience. And then, check it out, soothing occurs. This could be therapy, it could be support. Thinking about children, this is getting the support that we need. This is having maybe you have an education plan at school where the children are supported, or if you're an adult, you have people around you and you probably seek support of a coach or a therapist. Soothing occurs. Now, this is toxic stress. This is what a lot of cycle breakers have experienced. This is what I have used polyvagal therapy to, I say, heal myself, as if, ta-ta, it's done. What I will tell you is it's been very therapeutic, and it has changed my life. It's changed my life. It's changed my experience of being a parent. It's changed my marriage way for the better. And actually my relationships with the people who I existed in stage 2 with when I was younger. So, base level, this is a child. This is a young, innocent child, like all children. Circumstances are not safe. You'll notice that's different to an event. The circumstances are not safe here. So stress goes up. This is living with an alcoholic person. This is seeing mum being hit. This is strange people coming in our house, or not having any money and having so much, the stuff that a child shouldn't be worrying about, but they are up and down the country and all over the world. So the circumstances of their life are not safe. So we exist in this level 2. And the level 2 is where it plateaus over time. So over time, here we go. We're existing in stress. We're existing in stress. And then here, there is no soothing. There is no soothing. And it actually gets me emotional I've delivered this in a different form, these graphs, so many times. And we all know, either we have experienced this or we have met children or adults who have experienced this in their early years. Because when you're a child, if you grow up with an alcoholic, you can't walk away, you can't move. You can't say, this is a toxic relationship to me, I'm moving out. So children exist. What happens is that they then do not soothe. So their base level, you see this red line, it doesn't go back here. This is calm, this is rest and digest. This is the hypervigilant red line, and this becomes existence. And why? Because it's safer. This is how children keep themselves safe. So me as an as the child of an alcoholic, it was unsafe for me to not be able to read my dad's mood or wobbliness. That's all you understand as a child. It was unsafe for me. So if I let my guard down, bad things would happen, because I might be in the wrong place. I might be too loud, and then he was not in control. Therefore, this is adaptive. So this is a really important thing, and polyvagal therapy shows this too. It kept you safe at the time, and that is why your body is hanging on to it, because it's all it knows, because it's calibrated. So you'll see, blue and yellow, and yes, yellow is more intense. Blue, we go up and down and up and down and up and down, like spelling test, up and fine, down, driving test, up and down, deadline at work, up and down. This is normal. Positive stress, or all over the place. And tolerable stress, you might have 1 or 2 of these in your life. And this is chronic toxic stress. What do children learn from experiencing this? When you've experienced positive stress, which we all have, and we all will, we learn, I'm safe in general, because we always go back down. Soothing reoccur. That could be self-soothing or other soothing. We learn, I am safe. Life's got problems. Driving I failed my first driving test. It was crap. I cried. I got over it. I passed it the second time. Life has problems. It's not sunshine and rainbows. I can get over problems. I am loved. People will support me because you've been soothed. I have the tools in some cases. Maybe we need to learn that as we get older. I have tools. I can use EFT. I can use tapping, whatever. If you experience tolerable stress, it's very similar and yet also different. I am safe. Life has big problems. Maybe children learn. There are bad car accidents and then people get hurt and people die. Maybe they learn that too early, and that is sad. And with support, this is that I am loved, I am supported, they learn, and it's, and in general, the world is okay. Please let me know if this is making sense, or alternatively, if it's not. Hopefully it is. With this, and if you do want these slides, you can just ask me and I'll send it to you. And toxic stress. This is what is toxic, because we learn I am not safe. Life has problems. I don't have control, because a child doesn't have control of the situation they live in. They just don't. If they have a lot, it resonates deeply. There is a self-care thing at the end, by the way. I probably should add a trigger warning at the start. I think it's powerful, isn't it? Children learn, and this is the pathway that we walk again and again and again throughout life, especially 0 to 7. I don't have control. I'm at the whim of other things. I'm powerless. I'm stupid. I'm not safe, and that no one cares. Because if there is no soothing, and if the parent or the caregiver or the situation, this can be also, I've seen this, I've worked with young people, remember, with young offenders, like really at the sharp end, who have had this experience, yes, at home, but also at school. If they've had not supportive school environment, they learn nobody's coming, because you can be soothed at school as well, or not. Okay, so you might be watching this and thinking, okay, well, now I know. What the hell do I do with that? How do it? And I get that too. And you'll notice this. I love this graphic. She's looking pretty happy here right now, but I guess she's imagining the goal. Maybe that's the thing about visualizing. It is a long and winding road, and you can do it. Essentially, it's about becoming conscious. That is it. So when you're aware of it, well, that's the start. When you're aware of it, then you can notice, then you start noticing. This is one of the things that I do on the 6-week program, Recalibrate, where we use polyvagal therapy techniques to recalibrate the nervous system back down over 6 weeks, and also what we will be doing at a slower pace over a longer period of time in polyvagal parenting is about becoming conscious, becoming aware of our bodies, becoming aware of our nervous system and what is going on. And when you're conscious, that conscious and courageous and compassionate, yes, for the alliteration, curiosity, it's the curiosity, like, oh, I just flipped at the kid. What was that? Oh, there was a thing that got, okay, I know what's going on now. Or, oh man, my heart is beating really hard. That particular event really, really pissed me off. We can tune in. It's about becoming conscious and becoming curious without blame. It's what is it's gross, and I actually don't like the term, but it's so perfect. What is my meat suit doing right now? Because we are mammals. and we are, we live in these bodies. We take them everywhere with us. Of course, our body is going to affect us. Unfortunately, society doesn't really get that right now. When it does, things are going to change big style. So the effects on our parenting, because I've just talked about what it's like to grow up with toxic stress, and also it's not all about the childhood. It can be the teens, it can be the early 20s. Yeah, I know, it's gross, isn't it? The meat suit, grim. So this is the ball in the box analogy, and I know many of you have heard me talk about that, but I'll just allow me to go through it, because there's always somebody who's never heard it before, of course. So if you imagine the box is your equilibrium, it's your emotional equilibrium. And these triggers, these wounds, like the I'm not good enough, I'm not loved, these may be things that you have learned and come to the conclusion about yourself because nobody came, or because you weren't safe, and your child self has put these things together. It's Jean Piaget talks about the child scientist, the child who looks at the world around them and draws conclusions. And I talk about my kid that I once taught, who thought he lived next to the cloud factory, because people went in, clouds came out. That's where clouds come from. It's the gorgeousness of 6-year-olds, isn't it? And that actually is developmentally appropriate reasoning. See that, ergo this. Now the trouble is that we see dad always shouts at me, mummy's never there, they never come and soothe me, I'm not lovable. This is actually deductive reasoning that a 7-year-old should be expected to do. This is normal. And of course, me and you are thinking about that as adults and going, no, that was probably a really damaged adult who needed support. I know that my dad, who was a really scary person when I was age 5 to 11, and I don't really remember much before that, probably for good reason. I know that he loved me in his own way because he showed me, and I also know that he was abused as a child. So, it's not quite as easy as that. The trouble is that we learn these stories in our early years and we carry them through. So I carried it for like 25, 30 years. And I'm one of the lucky ones who was presented with an opportunity to delve into it younger than 85. As one of my colleagues has an 85-year-old client who says it's the best thing she's ever done, working through this. And we carry that for years, those stories. I'm stupid, I'm sick, I'm not lovable. So these are our triggers. These are the big red buttons. These are our wounds. And the balls, imagine now ping pong balls or tennis balls flying all over the place. They're your child's behaviors. That's the news. That's COVID scaring the pants off everybody. In those early days, I often found one of those triggers, because one of mine is safety. Is it safe for me to go to sleep? Safety. And then, I would watch, in like 2020, I'd be watching the news or I don't know what they call it, the daily briefing, when they would stand up and be like, go to work, don't go to work, go to work, don't go to work. And I would just be like, ugh! And my body would be really, really stressed out. Why? Because my trigger of, is it safe? Is it safe? Must be safe. That tennis ball of the events in the world pinged on that. Similarly, and I'm really happy to share, you can see I'm so happy to share these stories because I've come out through them. I had a trigger of being shouted at, because I was shouted at. And then so when my kid would shout at me, I would just go off. And I would hide or I would shout because I was going into fight or flight. My body was responding to an emotional trigger. Gotta go, aha, yeah, catch the rest. Oh, thank you, yes. Oh, I look forward to it. It'll be in the guide section, Josh Shower. So yeah, this is the thing, is that safety, true safety, feeling safety in our body is more than the absence of threat. Because at age 35, 36, 37, or whatever, it doesn't matter what age we're at, the fact that you don't live with that alcoholic parent or in that toxic situation that you grew up in is kind of irrelevant to your body, because it's still hanging on to, because its base level has calibrated to stress, hypervigilant, always looking out. Are they threatening me? Are they looking at me funny? Because it kept you safe. The safety and true safety inside the body is it's more than just not being in a scary situation. We need to, truly, I'm not a big fan of shoulds, but truthfully, removing ourselves from an unsafe situation or growing out of the unsafe situation isn't quite enough. We need more, and that is diligent work for us. And actually, it's not scary. It's really fun, actually. Really, really fun. I'm going to share some reels in the next couple of days of activities that I've done, that I videoed. So these are some of those wounds that we might have, those big red triggers like acceptance, being respected, being included, autonomy, and, having your own, being able to guide your own life. And other behaviors like shouting, lying, hitting, or being dismissed, having your own feelings dismissed. And this is where we come, and this is where polyvagal theory is so incredibly helpful. A reaction to a child's behavior, or or to the world, it could be a reaction to the news, which is really upsetting, or it could be, most of us, because we're in the sphere of parenting, this is Cycle Breaker Parenting Night Group, we're talking about parenting. We want to be better parents, we want to be calmer parents, so I'm going to stick with that. Say your child throws their food on the floor and they're like, that's disgusting. It's happened to me many times. The reaction to that is the shortcut. It's my trigger's been pressed, can't cope with it, la 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 la. And then you will subconsciously, and there's more behind this, and it's not for right now, but if you want to know more about it, do message me and I'll explain it to you. The subconscious is saying threat, threat, threat. This is a thing. When people threw stuff, or when people were angry at you when you were a kid, it was really scary. Get away from the situation. And that's why we shut it down. That's why we're not gentle parents. That's why we're not responsive parents, because we are not parenting. We're parenting from a place of our own wounds. And nobody likes their wounds being poked. We will do whatever we can to avoid that, because it's protected us. It's a survival mechanism. And it's not really helping, because you're the parent now and you've got kids. It's not really helping. Your body doesn't know that. You're a mammal, remember? You're hardwired to procreate and survive. That's what you do as a mammal. So your mammalian brain will just be like, threat, no. And then, that's how we react. And it's a bit like, if you touch the oven and you go, it's because it's a shortcut. It's a it's an emotional and a mental shortcut. So you're not having that message go all the way up, like, this is really hot, it's burning, because by then you would have burnt your fingers. So it's like the same thing. By then, the exposure to an upsetting trigger will be so upsetting that you will just shut it down. So that's what's going on there. That's a reaction. And a response is that measured way, because our triggers are not being pressed, or they are being, and I get triggered by my kids all the time, and I know what to do. I know what to do. And I have people who, before they worked with me, would get triggered all the time and didn't know what to do and would react. And after we worked together, they know what to do. And also we do the healing so that the big red buttons become small red buttons, or sometimes they disappear. And sometimes they pop up again, and then we know what to do. We do the healing and they disappear. And that means that our kids' behavior is just the tennis ball in the box. Kids' behavior isn't so triggering. So there's that thing, and also there's that way of dealing with it. And then there's calming our body so that we can react in a measured, we can respond in a measured, intentional way. Usually this is, when I say down here, in alignment with our values, I mean, it's gentle parenting, it's conscious parenting, it's respectful parenting. It doesn't really matter what you call it, does it? It's accepting your child for who they are and what they need, and being able to say, because we're not being triggered by our wounds, being able to say, this is a behavior that is showing me that my child needs me. And that's what we do. So just to explain a little bit further, so here's the stimulus, child's behavior or an event like the child shouting at you. Your immediate reaction, and this is actually what I designed. This is a flowchart of a well-respected research project, like a research paper from the 1970s that has been done again and again and again, replicated in many different situations with parents, and then with parents under stress. So, this basically is. So what we know about the decision-making process for action and judgments about children is, kid does stuff, immediate reaction is subconscious, as in below our conscious thought. I can tell you more about that if you want, but it's not the day for that because we've got other stuff to get through. I want to just go on to polyvagal therapy and polyvagal theory. So in the immediate response is subconscious, also known as, I don't like this, it's triggering me. So that's our immediate response. This is normal. This is normal because you're a mammal and you are hardwired to protect yourself. And if you have a tough childhood and you have some crappy experiences, you are hardwired to protect yourself. Procreate, protect. Now, we don't really want to do that all the time. We also want to be gentle parents. So the modification, this comes about 3 seconds after. This is why people say count to 5. This is why people say count backwards in French from 10. Someone said that to me once, just my head exploded, I can't do it. This is why I teach people to tap and say the same mantra, the same thing again and again and again, and they use their EFT. And also EFT, literally, as you press these points, does calm the nervous system. It has an effect on the amygdala, which is the bottom back of your brain right here, which is where your fight or flight systems are housed. So this is why I teach EFT, because it has an immediate effect and a long-term effect. And also it allows your conscious modification to kick in. That modification is, oh, my child needs me. I understand what behavior is. It's an external expression of their internal state. Okay, I understand that. So this is conscious modification. It's also, oh, they haven't had a nap today. Oh, they're really tired. Oh, it's their first day back at school after this. Oh, maybe that book that they read last night was really scary. This is the conscious modification. We must allow it to kick in. And when we do, then we get to make conscious parental action. This is all very interesting, Laura. I love that theory. How polyvagal therapy helped? I'm happy you asked. So I'm just going to leave this up so you can have a look whilst I have a bit of tea. And this is going to be like the 5-minute version of polyvagal theory. Now, the first session, which is on Sunday of polyvagal parenting, which is the subscription group I'm going to tell you about in a few minutes, is going to be basically polyvagal theory 101. And anytime anyone joins the membership, they will be able to look back over the old things. this is where we start. I will explain to you exactly what it feels like to be in these stages. I will help you connect to your nervous system. So we call it befriending, actually. So cool. Befriending your nervous system, working together, the body and the mind. This is how change happens. But there's 3 stages. You'll see this is basically a ladder. And there's more rungs in between. It's not like boom, boom, boom. You can having the understanding and the knowledge and that befriending, that working, the symbiotic relationship between your mind and your body and the physical system allows you to, at will, work out where you are and climb up that ladder using skills that I teach you. You can tell how excited I am, because this is literally game changing. When the world gets this, I'm writing a book about it as well. When the world gets this, and when we use this more, families all over the place, and I'm going to take it into schools as well, they're going to change. If you think basically 3 levels, top level is ventral vagal. You don't need to remember the names. We actually will be renaming them for you. Ventral vagal is the rest and digest. It's social, it's safe for me to connect. When we're in the ventral vagal stage, we're able to face and overcome difficulties. This is the people who've had put stress down, and soothing. I am able to face and overcome my difficulties. And so, it's not sunshine and rainbows. It's not unrealistic. It's not, positive vibes only. It's not bollocks, is what I mean. It's a good state to be. It's a resilient state to be. You'll notice this is not only where we want to be as people, it's where I want my kids to be most of the time. This is why I started the subscription, and it's why I do the 6 week. The 6 weeks is intense, and it's 1-to-1, but it's why I started it, because when you know it for yourself, hey Fatima, when you know it for yourself, you can support your children. That's what we want to do, isn't it? We don't want them to feel the way that we did. We want them to be able to do this themselves. So we learn and empower ourselves. So what ventral vagal, like think of it as the top of the ladder. Sympathetic nervous system is the next one. This is where, do you remember when I was talking about toxic stress and it being chronic? This is where many cycle breaker parents are calibrated to. So this should be your base level, even though it's the top of the ladder. This should be your base level, ventral vagal. Something knocks me off and I get stressed, and then I go back to ventral vagal. That's adaptive, that's safe. Now, many people, I was just telling you my story, hyper alert state, rapid heartbeat, shallow breathing, pupils blown so that you can see all the information you can around you, tightening the muscles, ready, is my dad wobbly today? Is he drunk? Is he in a good mood? Is he not? This serves you. So this is why people get calibrated to here as their base level, because it's sensible. Although it's not, when you're the parent. So when we're in this stage, this is where, something has issued a threat. If you think, walking down the street, you're going to cross the road, you stand there, you're going to go into sympathetic nervous system for a short period of time whilst you cross the road, whilst you assess. I mean, I live in Vietnam. Anyone who's ever crossed the road in Vietnam, it is hair-rated. I have actually got taxis to take me to the other side of the road before, seriously, because it's so scary. There's so much going on. You're in the sympathetic nervous system. Why? Because it serves you. It's not a bad place to be. And then you get to the other side of the road. This is you stress again. You get to the other side of the road and you go back to ventral vagal. Calm and safe. I'm off to go to the bookshop and do my thing that I was doing. So sympathetic is, has its uses. We are mammals. Again, we need fight or flight. Now, dorsal vagal is the evolutionarily, in terms of the evolution of humans, it's the oldest. It's in your back. So ventral vagal is kind of near the top. This is like 3 bits of the vagus nerve, and the sympathetic is in the back, like your main bit of your back, mid back, and then dorsal vagal is like your lower back, just behind it. The vagus nerve ends where your diaphragm is, so your lower back, and it's the last line of defense, and it's also the most primitive. So if you think of ventral vagal and me being safe to connect and us talking, that evolved as we became social beings, and that was millions of years after the dorsal vagal, which is that all lizards have it, all mammals have it, pretty much all animals have it, and it's where they basically play dead. It's where people faint, it's where people freeze, it's where people are utterly immobilized. It's deep depression, and when people are in that state, And this is why I actually came to polyvagal theory originally over other characterizations, because normally, you know, we hear like, I'm calm and I'm fine, rest and digest, or stress. Actually, there's more to it. What about trauma, where the bubble pops? You know, where the sympathetic nervous system is so overwhelmed, nothing that you're doing is helping, explode, and you just curl up in a ball because you can't deal with it. And I think actually we've all been there to a point, and particularly cycle breakers have traumatic experiences, many of them. And I mean, for me, dorsal vagal came about when I was in the special care unit with my little one, because I couldn't do anything. And so what I had to do was use coping mechanisms and calming skills. And I didn't know about EFT then, because it was 2015. But I used meditation, I used calming, I actually did knitting. I used to knit, undo it, knit, undo it. You know, I would just sit there next to my baby. And that actually got my need to move, my sympathetic nervous system, and it made me able to calm into ventral vagal. So you can use skills when you are in the dorsal vagal, but you need to know where you are first. Please, again, I know I keep checking in, but please let me know if there's anything that's unclear, and I can explain it again for you. So that is polyvagal theory in a nutshell. And that is what I mean when I say about calibrating. Skibu did this. Oh, Fatima, if you ever want to talk, so I know it's more recent for you, if you ever want to talk, please do message me. It gets better and there is support. I actually had therapy after a special care unit. In fact, a charity called Bliss put me in touch with it. Happy to message. I'll move on. But yeah, it's you know, and actually you think about it, it's adaptive, it's normal, because you literally can't do anything apart from be there. And the best thing that you can do is to calm yourself so that you can look after your baby and your other ones. It's a tough place. So yeah, part 3, because it seems a bit doom and gloom. You know, I was showing you about toxic stress, and then I was showing you about what is happening in your nervous system. How do we heal? How do we move on? So exciting. There's 2 ways. There is top down, which is talking therapy, which is what many people know as trigger work. It's identifying your triggers, you know, identifying those big red balls. I do this. I have a 6-week program called Heal Diligently, which helps you identify what those big red buttons are, and it helps you to change the script, find, if appropriate, and it isn't always, to find forgiveness for yourself, for other people, for the situation, and also to look at that script. You know, I was saying about the boy who thought he lived next to the cloud factory, and actually it was a sensible deduction, and clearly it was wrong. And many cycle breakers have come to sensible deductions in their early years of, oh, I'm not worthy of love. Oh, I'm stupid. It's all my fault. I always mess up relationships. They've come to that conclusion because of the toxic situation they lived in. And when we talk through with somebody who, you know, has training to support you with that, then we look at it from that bird's eye view and we go, oh my God, it's not true. It wasn't me. I mean, I've seen people drop pens and burst into happy tears of, it's not me. It was them. I understand now. And it's so powerful. So that's top down. That's one way. And but today we're talking about bottom up. This is polyvagal theory. Polyvagal therapy is bottom up, which is safety in your body and safety in your environment. Because both things, you can probably see from this talk that I've just been giving today, that there's that emotional component and there's the calibration of our nervous system, and they go together. And this is why I won't talk about it here, because it's not the right time and the doors don't open for another, looking at my calendar over here, 3-4 weeks. The Turning Point is a year-long program where we don't work together for 52 weeks, but we, you know, together through over a calendar year, we do the top down and the bottom up and parenting skills, and it is powerful. So yeah, the top down and the bottom up. So the bottom up is polyvagal theory. It's polyvagal therapy. It's where we work out. So yeah, we have the top down is the triggers, working out the wounds, and we're working on the emotional equilibrium. This is what we're working on, to make your body more resilient so that it can recognize what is happening when we're triggered. Because when we're triggered, we might be in ventral vagal having a lovely day, and then pow pow, we go down because something's triggered us. How do you get back up there? That's really all to do with the emotional equilibrium. and our body. And then we can heal so that we are not existing at sympathetic nervous system, so that we are calibrated to ventral vagal. Because if you think about it, if you exist in the sympathetic nervous system as your general level, and then your kid presses your buttons, or the news is scary, the next way to go is freezing, fighting, massive explosions of anger. This is where people lose their shit with their children. This is where people just walk out and then, just completely dissociate and don't engage. Not because they're bad parents, not because they don't know what they're doing, not because they don't have the skills, but because their nervous system is calibrated to the wrong level. It's calibrated to the right level because of how they were brought up, and it's not serving them now. Whereas when we exist in the ventral vagal, when we are calm, we're safe, stuff is gonna wind you up. People cutting you up on the road is gonna wind you up. You're gonna get annoyed, and then you're gonna go back. Whereas, if you exist in the sympathetic nervous system, when you first get behind the wheel, somebody cuts you up, you might scream, you might shout, you might have this huge, or you might go into a deep depression, and then it is harder to move back up to the sympathetic. And what you can do, we basically move it. We recalibrate. It can be done. And this is the thing. Not only can it be done, I have done it. People I'm working with right now, like one-to-one or on the turning point, because we're currently doing the polyvagal. We're doing recalibrate. We're doing the polyvagal module right now. And people all over the world. I can create loads of papers for you. By the way, if you do want the papers, just ask and I'll send them to you. It's happening all over the world. It's just not that known about. And it can be done, and it is being done. So it's not the thing that is only available for these magical unicorns. It can happen for you too. It will. If you go through the steps, it will recalibrate your nervous system. It's incredible. So, so I want to invite you to connect. So I'm inviting you to join the polyvagal parenting. So I've just moved on. Connecting. This is about connecting with yourself. And this is about saying, do you know what, actually, I don't want to exist in the sympathetic nervous system. I did it for years and I didn't even realize, because my mind and my body were utterly divorced. Because actually, for me, as a person who grew up in an abusive household and a stressful household, for me, it was safer to actually cut the time between being aware of how upset I was. And that might hit some people hard. And if it does, sit with it for a bit. And, of course, you can always message me if anything from this talk is, thrown up any worries, feelings, emotions for you, because this is what I'm here for. And I will just support you through it. I won't try and sell you anything. I'll just try and support you through it. I just want to offer this for people who want it. So, yeah, if we want to recalibrate, if we want to move on, then here it is. I will share my screen in a minute and show you what it is. So for each month, it's £35 a month. So the link here doesn't work. You can't click on your screen, but the link, I'll put the link below this talk. And you can see that it's cheaper if you subscribe for a longer month. And there's two reasons for that. One is it helps me to know who's in the group. It's purely selfish for me on that point. It helps me to know, and for planning, to know who's in the group. And it's just great for me. And also, these things, you don't watch one talk. You might have ahas. There'll be people watching this right now and on the replay. Oh, if you do, please put #replay. There'll be people watching this and thinking, oh, great. That's great. I didn't know about that. Polyvagal theory. Wow, that's incredible. And that will be really helpful. It's not going to change your life. I'm sorry. If there was a magic wand, I swear I would be waving it over all of us. And there's not. These things take time. And they build, and they're cumulative. And I haven't put you with I'll just show you in a second. So there's a little thank you there, just saying, please look after yourself. So be gentle, drink water, give yourself something that makes you happy. And remember, you don't have to be healed. I'm not healed. You don't have to be healed, because that's just not a thing that happens, in order to be a great parent. Hello, it's me again. I'm just going to share my screen for you so that you can see. I see. I'll make that smaller so that you can actually see what you get. So this is the website that I'm going to show you, which is going below below this talk, so you can click through, and it just gives you all the slides. So here's that. This is my website, cyclebreakerparents.com. So the Polyvagal Parenting monthly membership group is it's all about healing your nervous. It's all about the things we talked about. You can read that in your own time. You don't need me to read it out. So here's what you get. This is what you want. So we get one monthly masterclass, which is similar to, but not as in depth as what I just no, more in depth as what I just showed you. I just gave you a general overview because that's appropriate, but I will give you a monthly masterclass that distills all the research into what you need right now. Because at the end of the day, if you're in the subscription group, you want support, you want it now, quite rightly, and you don't want to funny about with the research. That's what I do, because that's my thing and I love it. And so you get a library of sessions. So everything that I do will always be, you can go get it in the library. It's going to be held in a little Facebook group just for us, but also there's going to be an off Facebook library, for want of a better, digital repository. That's my favorite word at the moment, repository. You'll be able to watch older things, or maybe you watch something and then 2 weeks later it becomes relevant, or a month later, or 5 months later, and you're like, oh, that thing, and you want to go back to it. That's what we'll do. And so you can rewatch it. And also we have a fortnightly EFT drop-in session, which means every 2 weeks I will invite everybody to a Zoom call. We get on, just the people in the membership, not everybody else, just the people in the membership, and we will do a tap, which is just going to be about general stuff that is stressing you out. It can be parenting related, it can be petrol prices, it can be Brexit, it could be, I'm far away in Vietnam, so I don't even know if that is stressful for people right now, but it can be anything, because you are the parent. Parenting, you're a key part of that, aren't you, as the parent? So yeah. My tea. Yeah, so you get that. So monthly masterclass, 2 optional, you don't have to go, but it would be great for you if you do, 2 optional EFT drop-in sessions. They will be on Saturday. The monthly masterclass is the first Sunday of every month, and it will be Sunday afternoon UK time. And then weekly suggestions. So I will pop in and give you a suggestion to connect with your kids. That's just an extra bonus, really, of me saying, hey, why don't you take your kid to, why don't you do this with your kid? Here's the theory about why we use clay sometimes when we work with children. Here's what you can do in your house. So each week you will get a connection activity with your kid, and it will really, really help you as a parent and just have fun. A parent and a person in your own right. So yes, the investment. So if you go to the website, here's the links: 1 month, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, and 12 months. So it's easy peasy to join. I will also put the links below this video. So if you have any questions, send me a message. And we start, so today is Thursday. It is Thursday, the 28th of April. You can't see it, but I'm pulling up my calendar. Our first masterclass is this Sunday, because it's Sunday, the first Sunday of every month. And it just happens to be that May, the 1st of May, is a Sunday. So it's going to be Sunday, the 1st, and it's going to be in the afternoon on Sunday. So if you're interested, please do join. All you need to do, you don't actually need, it's not really that much of a process. You just click the link, and then I will send you the Facebook. I'll send you the Facebook group link, and then we show up and we start. We start on Sunday. That is it. So if you have any questions, or if you want to know more, or if you don't particularly want to do the polyvagal parenting, and yet something from today has kind of triggered you a bit, or upset you, or brought back some memories, I am here for you, and I want you to know that, because it's very important for me that this group is a safe space, that this Cycle Breaker Parents Unite is a safe space. Because if you, and you are, because you've signed up in some way, you've clicked through into this group, you are a cycle breaker, no matter what your upbringing is. And if you're saying, okay, no, that stuff stops with me, you deserve a safe space, and I offer it for you. So if you do ever want to talk about anything, there's no pressure. I won't do like, by the way, do you want to sell this? I'm not that guy or that girl. Just if you ever want to talk, I'm here. That's what I'm saying. Right. Sending you lots of love, and I hope to speak to you soon. Bye.